this is officially the end of the road, right? It was the final attempt, right? Final attempt by Donald Trump to overturn the results of the election, and it failed. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected the GOP bid to overturn the 2020 election. He's done. He's tried every possible angle to attack the results, and they have failed in the lower courts, and they've failed in the higher courts right up to the Supreme Court. So President Donald Trump arrives to speak at an event. That's the picture over there. The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected a bid by Texas and other Republican-led states to overturn the 2020 election. Mar-a-Lago time, right? Melania's done. She's on her way down there already. She's already looking for schools for Barron. That's it. The end of the road. One-term president, right? In an opinion issued Friday, the court said Texas lacked standing and had not demonstrated a right to interfere in how other states administer their elections. The effort to throw out the vote in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Georgia was supported by a majority of Republicans in the House of Representatives. Texas tried to overturn those 4 states. Supreme Court says, sorry, that has nothing to do with you. So the nation's highest court has rejected an effort by U.S. President Donald Trump and other Republicans to overturn the 2020 election. In a brief order issued Friday, the U.S. Supreme Court said a lawsuit brought by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton was denied a hearing due to lack of standing. The experts had already said it wouldn't go anywhere, and it was really his final and last attempt. Now people are going to wait for him to concede. Paxton and other Republican Attorney General, as well as a majority of those elected to the House of Representatives, had argued the popular vote in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Georgia should be disregarded over unsubstantiated allegations of fraud, and that GOP-led legislators should be allowed to select pro-Trump electors instead. That demand, an unprecedented request for judges to intervene and overrule a democratic outcome, had prompted some dissent among some, but certainly not all conservatives. That doesn't sound like a very Republican argument to me. Senator Lamar Alexander of Tennessee said in an interview airing on Sunday, citing federalism and the right of states to administer their own elections. Joey Delanotta says the rebellion starts. The argument was echoed by the Supreme Court. Texas has not demonstrated a judicially cognizable interest in the manner in which other states conduct its elections, the justices wrote. And this is literally the piece from the Supreme Court dated Friday, December the 11th, today. Order in pending case. They give a short little brief, and this is it. And it says Texas versus Pennsylvania et al. That was the case. The state of Texas motion for leave to file a bill of complaint is denied for lack of standing under Article 3 of the Constitution. Texas has not demonstrated a judicially cognizable interest in the manner in which other state conducts its elections. All other pending motions are dismissed as moot. Statement of Justice Alito, with whom Justice Thomas joins. In my view, we do not have discretion to deny the filing of a bill of complaint in a case that falls within our original jurisdiction. And they quote, see Arizona versus California 589 US, dated February 24, 2020. I would therefore grant the motion to file the bill of complaint, but would not grant other relief. And I express no view on any other issue. That's it. Game over. It's going nowhere. So Democrats, meanwhile, continue to sound the alarm. Speaking to the Washington Post, Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut warned that while unlikely to be successful this time around, the legitimization of efforts to subvert democracy bodes ill for the future. GoFi says after the presidency, Trump and family face over 61 indictments. New York City AG is waiting for January 21, 2021. That is true. That is a correct factual statement. So he now has to deal with that. Elias is my bro, is in the house. Mr. Professor Compton in the house. Also, eviction notice has been sent to fake #45 at White House on January the 20th, 2021. All righty. So there we go. You hear it. So not only does he have no further angle at this, it's game over now. Game over. You know, when Pac-Man, when you're playing Pac-Man, game over, right? You move out the White House now. Next guy moves in. Enjoy your life in Mar-a-Lago. And as GoFi's correctly says, there are over 61 indictments waiting. They're going to be knocking on the Mar-a-Lago doors and say, Mr. Ex-President, you needed in New York City for further hearings. The Attorney General wants to speak to you. So that's it, folks. If this becomes at all normalized more broadly than it already is, they will steal an election 2 years from now or 4 years from now. So I think what happened, what the Supreme Court did, was the right decision, because otherwise, literally every 2 years, you're going to have other states attacking outcomes of other states. It makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, New York's AG ain't messing around. Game over, as Elia says. That's it, my friends. And, you know, not sure on what side you are on, right? A lot of people believe that some miracle will still save him, that some miracle will overturn Biden's nomination. And I want to say to those Trump supporters, accept the defeat, you know, just as Democrats had to do in 2016. Move on with your lives, right? There's no need for violence. There's no need for threatening. It is what it is. The highest court of the land has spoken, period, right? Now what you can do is you can gear up for 2024, right? You gotta bury this one and let that anger, let that disappointment go, right? Don't buy into the conspiracy theories. Don't donate your money to false hopes and false promises. That really upset me that Trump set up. This is a fact, right? And this is what Trump supporters need to hear. He sets up the super PAC and asks for donations. He's raised over $208 million since he's been tweeting, you know, these lies, saying, you know, they stole it from us. They didn't steal it from us. This was a very well coordinated election. There were recounts, and the outcome, even today, the US Supreme Court has spoken. They rejected the bid to overturn it because the facts are in, the electoral votes are allocated, and we have a new president. Just as in 2016, you know, I'm sure many Hillary supporters were not happy, and Trump won it, right? And, you know, Democrats had to move on. This year, 2020, it was their chance. They won it fair and square. And the GOP or Trump supporters need to move on. Now, I want to warn Trump supporters, you have been donating to Trump's campaign. I want you to read the fine print, right? Because if you are donating under $5,000, he can do whatever he wants to with your money. He can assign himself salaries. He can use it for hotels, for travel, right? You're basically paying for him to pay off his debts. If you have given him over $5,000, there's a small percentage of that which will go towards the recount, which would have gone towards legal fees, right? But the majority of the Trump supporters that have been donating $5 or $10 or $20, thinking that they could save their guy, thinking that it was going to go towards recounts, thinking that it was going towards attorney fees, I want you to understand that super PAC or that campaign that he started, where he raised $208 million, you are basically helping him wipe out $400 million of his debt, right? And it hurts me that Republicans got misled. It hurts me that Trump supporters got misled, because you are thinking you are doing something great by donating. And it's very hard during a pandemic for a family to even sacrifice any monies right now, because monies are short. But you are giving out of the kindness and the goodwill of your Republican heart, because you believe this is going towards a worthy cause. And what you are essentially doing is you're funding his lifestyle, right? You're funding his travels. You're funding him. You're not funding the recount. You're not funding attorneys hoping to overturn this verdict, right? And I feel that campaign, the small print, and I'm sure the majority of the people did not read the small print, right? That money, if you were to get a second chance, okay, I have $20, I'm going to donate it to this campaign. Let me read the fine print first. Where will this money go, right? So I feel that a lot of injustice, a lot of misleading was done by telling the people, by telling the Trump supporters that this money was going to a worthy cause, namely pay for attorneys and pay. No, it didn't. That is the way he set this up. You are basically handing over free cash to this guy that he can use as he wishes. You have to, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're a Republican or whether you're an independent or whether you are a Democrat, always read the fine print when you are making a donation. Where is this money going, right? And he quickly made $208 million, right? And say no more. I wish the people could get the money back. Scott Tucker says, all I care about is me and mine and what happens to vaccines and the COVID relief package. I'm with you on that, right? That, now they want to rush through the vaccine with the FDA. The White House has threatened to fire the head of the FDA if he does not approve Pfizer by Friday, right? And with vaccines, all I ask is look at what's happening in the UK. They're getting their first vaccines. I can do another segment on this vaccine thing, is that there are side effects. There is profuse sweating. There have been 2 cases already reported in the UK with serious side effects if you are allergic. So if you are allergic to certain things, which I am, maybe you are, right? Is this vaccine really good for you, right? So the FDA is not going to put the stamp of approval, the green light, until they have the results in. What the White House, what Mark Meadows tried to do is basically say, if you do not approve this Pfizer vaccine by Friday, dear head of FDA, we are firing your ass. It's wrong. Let the FDA, let the Food and Drug Administration do its tests. Let them conduct their tests. Let them make 100% sure that we are not rushing something that could lead to tons and tons of side effects, right? So, COVID relief package with Scott Tucker. Also, where is the COVID relief package? Why can't these two sides, have a meeting of the minds and actually get this done? Why can't they sign off and get this relief package to the American citizens, to the small businesses, right? Why is Mitch McConnell holding this up? They obviously want this money allocated to corporations. No, this is the money that goes to the little guy on the street, right? So I'm all for this COVID relief package passing ASAP. Hopefully they can come to their frickin' senses and work together in unity to get something passed. Hopefully there is word that there's a $600 stimulus check in the works. Hopefully there might be another round of $1,200. That money, ladies and gentlemen, ultimately flows back into the economy anyway. So if you guys can, and I say you guys, Republicans, Democrats, in the Senate, in the Congress, if you can, get this relief package through, get the aid, let it stimulate the economy, help people through a difficult period, right? And let's get the show on the road. Scott Tucker says, I got the green light today. Well, green light is better than red light. Green light, I'm not sure what the green light is on, but I'll congratulate you in advance because that does sound like positive news. So again, I'm going to cut it short here. The video that I made is the US Supreme Court rejects the GOP bid to overturn the 2020 election, rejects Donald Trump's final attempt to overturn this, and I think America can move on, right? And to those who want to make donations to Donald Trump's new campaign, to that super PAC, all I ask you is read the fine print. Understand where your money goes, because where you believe your money is going is not where it's going, right? It's not going towards legal fees. It's not going towards any recounts that has already all taken place, right? The guy that was out there defending Trump was Rudy Giuliani, and I'm sorry, he made a complete, utter fool of himself. He was charging Trump $20,000 a day. And even if he was out there for 10, 15 days and charged Trump $200,000 to $230,000, $200,000 to $300,000, that is a fraction of the monies he has collected, where he said he was using that towards legal fees. He has collected $208 million of your monies and maybe paid Rudy Giuliani $200,000 to $300,000 because they came to an agreement that Rudy Giuliani would charge him $20,000 per day. And he lost in every single lower court. That's why their final attempt to the Supreme Court was one final shot through Texas. Looking forward to January the 20th. Let's move on, folks. Let's get to 2021. Let's get through the pandemic, and let's keep it real and let's keep it factual. God bless you all. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you.